Hey y'all, hey. I know I ain't been around for a good minute. I had no intention to tell anybody this, but I am expecting. And my life has been a complete living hell since I found out. Not in the sense of I'm not happy. I'm just talking about like physically, mentally. I have just been drained. But I have been so irked by this whole situation. I said, let me lay my black ass down. Shout out to my pregnancy pillow. And let me just get this off my chest very fast. So I've been watching the SWV and Xscape show. Very interesting. A clip just came out for next week's episode, or this upcoming week's episode. Pretty much all of the girls are in the room. SWV and Xscape are in the room. And it's Kandi telling SWV that Xscape should be headlining, and pretty much SWV should be damn near opening for them. And Taj and Coco's thing was, and Lily was, no, but we can co-headline. And Kandi goes, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or nothing like that, but like, when we do our tours, and Taj stopped her and said, our tour? Like, our tour? What do you mean? I just want to come here and say this really fast. Before I even get into all of the reasons why Xscape should never, ever in a dual tour have SWV open up for them, before I even get there, I want to say that this is one of the reasons, well, I'll get to that in a second. I think it's extremely disrespectful, even though Kandi was this. No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's disrespectful because the way that this was brought to us on the show, I don't care about what happened prior to the show. I'm talking about how it was presented. On this show, it was presented that SWV came to Xscape because remember the first damn episode, Taj is the one who called Xscape to the table and said, we are thinking about doing a joint tour with you guys because we're both coming up and we're doing, like the 30th anniversary. SWV came out first. And they're like, okay, so we're thinking that we can do this tour together. I don't understand, just from GP, how they can bring the freaking idea to the table and you still sit across from them and say, no, we should actually be headlining. And I think it's even more disrespectful. SWV came back and said, they didn't even say, well, what they should have said, which is, you got me fucked up, Kandi. You got me fucked up. We're actually going to be headlining now. They said, no, we should co-headline. And what I'm not understanding is that, especially if this is a one-night thing, because y'all don't even know if y'all can go on tour because Xscape can't get it together. Not because of SWV. Y'all probably won't go on tour because y'all group is the problem. Let's be clear about that. So the fact that this is going to be a one-night thing, and for one damn night, Kandi, Tiny, y'all can't just co-headline? I'm not understanding. And even the way that Tamika had put it when they was at the meeting is like, let's really do a joint thing. Like, let's do some stuff where it's like Kandi and Coco do some songs together. These people do some songs together. So if it's really going to be like that, I'm not understanding the we're going to headline thing. I don't like how Kandi said, well, for our tour, like Taj said, it's not y'all tour. It's not y'all tour. And as much as I love Dustin Ross, Lord knows that I do. But I just seen him post something like, oh, the thing about it is, and other people have said this too, like, oh, well, SWV has opened up for Xscape before. But that was because that was their situation. That was their situation. That was a show that they probably came up with on their own, probably put the work together to come up on their own, and then said, hey, because that's why it says special guest. It says special guest if you actually read the damn flyer. So I'm pretty sure that was a situation where Xscape wanted their own show. And then they said, oh, you want to know what would be cool? It'd be cool if SWV came and did a song. It'd be cool if, I forgot who else was on the ticket, but it was like a men's group, came and did the show. That's completely fucking different than SWV bringing the situation to the table as a joint thing. And then you sitting in their faces and saying, oh, well, we actually need to be headlined. That's disrespectful, like Todd said, to even say it's our tour. Who the hell said that it was y'all tour? It was very clear from the beginning, just like this is not the Xscape show featuring SWV. It's SWV and Xscape. Queens of R&B. Not Xscape featuring SWV. That's not how this goes. So I'm a little bit lost about that. Let's take that off the table. Secondly, for Tiny to say in her confessional, well, people know me and Kandi from reality TV, and then they gonna be like, oh, them girls was in groups, and then they go back and listen. That literally proves everybody's point when we say in our reality, you guys shouldn't be fucking headlining. You're actually giving credence to our point. The fact that people don't really know y'all music other than seeing you and Kandi on TV and then have to double back and listen to your music is the point. Nobody has to watch SWV on TV to know their music. Nobody has to do that. Thirdly, my mama was born in 79, okay? My mom knows that Kandi is on, reality TV just because, she kind of sees, she don't watch the show, but she just kind of hears, and she knows about Tiny and T.I. and their show at the time. But I asked her, I asked my father, I asked all of my aunts and uncles that were teenagers during the 90s, not young children. I'm talking about teenagers, so have a good vivid memory of the 90s. I asked all of them separately, who was a bigger group, SWV and Xscape? And without even thinking, every single damn person said SWV. And then the next question I ask is by how much? And everybody says by a good amount, not by a small amount, a good amount. The groups of the 90s, as far as the girls is concerned, that people truly remember, SWV, TLC, and yes, Destiny's Child came a little bit later, but Destiny's Child. We're not gonna rewrite history, Kandi or Tiny. That is my biggest problem. We're not gonna rewrite history and try to make it seem like y'all was the bigger group. And people are like, oh, that's not really the point of the conversation. That actually is the point. When you are saying that you want a headline, it's because you feel like you're the bigger group. You guys, as far as hits are concerned, are not the bigger group. This is factual if we're looking at numbers and sales. And yes, you guys are popular as far as mostly just Tiny and Kandi. You guys are popular for reality TV. But like somebody has said 1,010 times, bitch, this is not BravoCon. Just because people are fans of you on reality TV, that does not necessarily generate into actual ticket sales. If that was the damn case, why doesn't any of Kandi's solo work fucking do good? As popular as Kandi is on reality TV, in The Real Housewives, why does none of her solo shit ever fucking hit? Why the fuck did her Broadway show, her quote unquote, not the one that she's doing now, but her original play that she did, A Mother's Love, why did that fuck up so badly? Why was that not successful? What are y'all talking about? That's my problem. We're not gonna rewrite history and say because me, and let's be clear, it's just Kandi and Tiny that people know from mostly reality TV. But let me talk about me. I was born in the early 90s, and I can honest to God say, when Tiny says people still saw me and Kandi on TV and went back and said, oh, these girls sing, that's a fact. Because coming up, I had no idea. Let me tell you something. You want to know how I really knew Xscape songs? Y'all remember the commercials back in the day where they used to show like the compilation albums and stuff like that, like late at night of the R&B different songs and stuff like that from the 90s? That's how I found out who Xscape was. I did not know Xscape songs growing up. And like somebody said, I don't know if it's more like of a Southern thing or whatever the case may be, but growing up, I did not know Xscape songs like that. Not at all. I heard of Just Kicking It, but that's about it. As far as SWV songs, nobody. No, I did not have to go back and be like, oh, I see this person on TV. Oh, let me go back and listen to that. Those were songs that were integrated. Weak alone is so freaking cemented in our culture. You grow up knowing that song. There is no going back to that. Human Nature, that is a song that's integrated into our damn fabric. The fabric. I'm sorry, it's getting darker because, I didn't cut on light. But that is integrated in the fabric of things. Another thing I want to say is, to be very honest, Xscape songs did not age nearly as well as SWV songs. I'm serious. Just Kicking It is such an old ass motherfucking sounding song. Understanding might be the most annoying song of all time to me. It is very basic. I'm talking simple as 1, 2, 3. And I tell people all the time, that line of simple as 1, 2, 3, that literally describes the entire fucking song. No type of effort, nothing was put into the writing of that song. If you really want to talk about weak, Rain, I'm so into you. Use your heart. Come on now. We're talking about songs that have lasted, that if you put on today, still sound good. Still sound good. To be very clear, a lot of Xscape songs are very juvenile. Very juvenile. Let's really talk about it. So, my whole thing is, just because y'all are quote unquote popular, and Tiny, let's really have a conversation about it. Tiny, most people watch your reality show because of T.I. It wasn't because of you. Yes, people was like, oh, that's the girl from Xscape. But people watched that show mostly because of T.I. and because of them damn kids. Nobody really gave a fuck about you, Tiny. And as far as I'm concerned, most people don't even know that Tiny can sing. Unless you're like an Xscape fan, most people don't know that Tiny can sing. So what we're not gonna do is rewrite history and make it seem like, oh, Xscape is the bigger group. They're not. You want to know why y'all are relevant more today? It's because of the drama that y'all have going on. Nobody walks around talking about Xscape because of the music. And that's the biggest difference. When people talk about SWV and their legacy and stuff, we're talking about the music that they made. When we talk about Xscape today, we're talking about the drama connected to y'all, not your music. So what I don't understand is, why the hell do y'all think that y'all deserve to headline when SWV could honestly put their dick on the table and say, no, bitch, as far as we're concerned, we're gonna headline. They're still being cool and calm and collected and be like, nah, like, let's co-headline. And again, if it's just for one night, I'm not understanding why on God's green earth you can't just pretty much humble yourself enough and be like, sure, let's do that. That's why, to me, although throughout this whole situation, I do believe that Latasha is the problem. I do believe that, like, at the heart of everything, I do believe Latasha is the problem. When Latasha said last week, and even on their first show, that Kandi felt some type of way because of the fact that Latasha was being offered a lot of the leads, I agree with that. And to me, this just 1,010% proves that. You can't even humble yourself enough to be like, you want to know what? We did say we were going to do this together. That's what's killing me. It's not like, it's like Taj said, what do you mean our tour? It's not your tour. It's one thing if, like when they did the Great Xscape tour, it's one thing if it's the Great Xscape tour, and then, like, they asked Tamar to come on, they asked the Queen's Court to come on, that's one thing, but it's not y'all tour. And as far as I'm concerned, y'all are not known globally like that. Let's really have a conversation. SWV is known globally. Y'all don't have that same impact. So let's really fucking stop it for real, for real. That shit really pissed me off because to me, it just shows the ego. And that's the problem with Xscape. And the main thing that I don't understand is, why on God's green earth would they ever take the music and everything like that off the table? Why on God's green earth would they ever agree to that when you guys don't even know if all 4 members will show up? I know for a fact if I go to an SWV show, Coco, Taj, and Lily are all going to show up. You bitches just said, not that, literally 2 episodes ago, that Tasha just said she don't even know if she want to do it. So my thing is, from a business standpoint, since everybody want to talk about business and business acumen, from a business standpoint, why would I even put faith into y'all headlining something when it's obvious that y'all don't even get along? Who knows if Tasha will even show the hell up? We're not gonna rewrite history and make it seem like just because y'all are known on reality TV a little bit, only Tiny and Kandi, that all of a sudden, oh, we need to be the bigger people. And if we really want to talk about it, like somebody said, I find it hilarious that the person that we all agree can't sing, and Tiny, who barely ever sings, got the nerve to say something. That's why Latasha and Tamika sat there quiet, because it is disrespectful. Don't sit up there across from them and say, oh, I'm not trying to be. That's extremely disrespectful when this was always presented as a joint thing. It's one thing if y'all brought it to the table. It's one thing if y'all like, no, this is our tour and we're going to do this. This was always perceived as a joint thing. If it was not, it would not be called the SWV and Xscape show. Lord, the SWV's name is first. Like, y'all need to be humbled. And I really think the issue here is that because Kandi is the biggest person, quote unquote, and has the most money within her actual group of Xscape, and because on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, she got the most money within that group, that she thinks that she can take her black ass outside of that group, those two groups, and thinks that it applies. It does not. It does not. I'm done, y'all. That shit pissed me off. No way. I don't even care. Even if SWV wasn't going to go headline, there's no reason on God's green earth that they would ever open for y'all. And y'all using that weak ass fucking tour, that one tour that they fucking did. And when it's clear that they were the headliners, it wasn't a joint tour. It was not a joint tour. It was their fucking show. And they asked, that's why I said special guest. We're not going to rewrite history and make it seem like Xscape had the biggest fucking singles in the world that outdid SWV. And all of y'all can sit up there and say, oh, that's irrelevant. How is it irrelevant when we're talking about a concert? How is how much SWV sold compared to Xscape irrelevant when we're talking about a concert? Nobody's coming for BravoCon. Nobody's coming to sit up there and see Kandi's personality. We're there for the hits. And even if we go to the verses, as far as I'm concerned, Kandi had to fucking pull out songs that she wrote because they ran out. We're not going to make it seem like Xscape has more well-known songs than SWV. That is a lie from the pits of hell. And I don't care nothing about money. It's one thing, if y'all was doing a full tour, maybe y'all could talk about it. But even if y'all was doing a full tour, the fact that it was supposed to be a joint situation is bullshit to sit in their face and say, oh, well, we're gonna headline because it's our tour. It's not y'all tour. It's not y'all tour. Then y'all want to wonder why I don't fucking like Kandi. I'm out, y'all. Bye.